Okay. Would you like this one? Are you allowed to wear shorts? Not in the shop, right?
No, not in the shop.
But in regular part, it doesn't matter. Okay, guys, does anybody know what our first step is on finding the graph? Now, if you got an A on the test, don't answer. We want the kids, I want to go with this, the pace for the people who are struggling to do. If I were to say vertex, would you know how to find that? Richard, if you want to go to robotics, that's fine. That's fine too. Miss Haley, if you need to make up anything anywhere, you can. Christian, you can go to shop if you want. You can do whatever you want. Hiram, I'm pretty sure you got an A on the test, didn't you? Guys, does anybody remember the formula for finding the vertex? Is anybody awake? You all just emotionally done? Opposite of B over 2A. And then to find the Y value, you just plug in X. Sam, will you pull the strings on the back 3? Manny, will you pull the string on the front 3? And I'm going to hit the lights. Both strings, remember? Those two things should clip together. To the... Okay, you guys, what's my B? Yeah. So 24, it always goes A, B, C. So 24 is going to go there. What's going to be my A? Good. Negative times the 24, what does that make, y'all? Two times negative 3 is? What's a negative divided by a negative? So I already know it's going to be a positive. What's 24 divided by 6? This is the x-coordinate. Hi. Can you shut the door when you come in? The x-coordinate of my vertex. Moses, you're going to want this paper. Paulo, you're going to want this paper. Want that paper? Thank you very much. Okay. So we've got 4. This is the x-coordinate of my vertex, so it goes in the middle. You're just going to count up and down. So I'm going to go 3, 2, 5, 6. Notice that all of these numbers are on this graph. On your assignment, this graph is automatically generated to fit your equation. So it's going to fit. You follow me? Okay. Now that I have my x value, how do I find the y? Exactly. We're just going to take this equation, write it down. Everywhere there's an x, I'm putting parentheses. And that's going to become what we plug in and change every single time. So what am I going to plug in first? What's my first number I need to look at? Good, so I'm going to change all my x's to now from this point on your test, what I was looking for is each one of these x values needed to be plugged in. If you didn't do that, you lost 10 points per question, and there were 2 questions, so that's quite a lot. That's 20%. What's 4 squared? It is 16. What's 4 times 24? I don't know that off the top of my head, but what's 2 times 24? Okay, what's 48 times 2? $96. Or if that's too hard, you can think of it as 48 plus 48, right? And then when I'm taking away the 44, that's mostly going to cancel, right? What's 3 times 16? I've got a negative 48. I've got a positive 48. What does that make? Good. I've got 48 take away 44. What's that make? Good. Mm-hmm. Yes. I want to see that. So now that I have 4 for my y value, I'm going to put that right here. And I put that on my graph. So 4 is my dot. I was looking for, on your graph, I was looking for 5 perfect points, a nice curve, good arrows. Okay? What number is going to be the easiest number to use? 2, 3, 5, or 6? Which one do you feel most comfortable with? 2. Okay, I like 2. So we're going to take this same equation, but instead of x, what are we going to plug in? So we're just going to change it to a 2. What's 2 squared? 4. What's 2 times 24? What's 3 times 4? What's 48 take away 44? What's negative 12 plus 4? Hint, it has to fit on our graph. So it can't be bigger than what? Can't be bigger than negative 9. What's negative 12 plus 4? 12 steps back, 4 steps forward. Negative 8. And we're going to put this back up on our chart. I'm pausing for a moment to make sure everybody's got this little part down. Notice that it's making that triangle like we talked about yesterday. Easy to follow your work, easy to see what you're doing. Notice that doesn't say x, that says f of 2, so I know exactly what number you're plugging in. And then in my chart, I know that I got negative 8. If I got negative 8, what other number am I also expecting to come out as negative 8? I'm expecting these to be the same. So let's plug in 6 and see if we get the same thing, okay? So again, we're just changing all the x's to be a 6. Manny, what's 6 squared? 36. Good. 24 times 6. I think of this as quarters. If I had 6 quarters, I'd have $1.50, right? What's $1.50 take away 6? 140. 144. Okay, which of these looks easier? Does 3 times 36 look easier, or does 144 take away 44 look easier? The subtraction, what does that make? Pardon? Good, 100. What is negative 36 times, sorry, positive 36 times negative 3? It's okay if you need to use a calculator. Is that 108? Yep. So whenever I have to do a problem like that, just so you can see my mental math, I don't know what 3 times 36 is, so I broke 36 down as 3 times 12. What's negative 3 times 3? So I just did negative 9 times 12, because I know that. And that's how I got 108. Negative 108 and 100, what does that make? Hey, is that what we were expecting? Good, let's put it on our graph. Okay, so this is our x value. Make sure when you're doing your test or you're doing a retake or whatever, make sure you label this side as your x's and this side as your y's, or your f of x. So x is 2, y is negative 8. Put a dot. X is 6, y is negative 8. If I drew a vertical line straight through the vertex, these need to be the same distance from each other on the same line. It has to be symmetrical. If it's not symmetrical, you didn't do a parabola. You guys want to use 5 or 3? Which one's easier for you? Okay, 3 it is. I'm going to slide up. Let's break it down. Diego, what's 3 squared? Good. Jeremiah, what's 3 times 9? Negative 3 times 9, sorry. Sorry, I didn't mean to put you on the spot. You just gave me the stank face. Sam, I'm going to ask you 24 times 3. Sam, 24 times 3. $74? Really close. 72. Okay, you guys, is it easier for you to do 74 take away 44, 27 plus 44, since they're both negatives, you would add them together? Or 27 and 72? Which way does your brain work? Which things do you want to put together first? You don't care? Okay, 72 take away 44. What's 72 take away 40? 32. Okay, and then 32 take away 4. 28. What's 28 take away 27? See how it's making a triangle? See how I'm seeing every single step? So if you make a mistake, I know exactly where your confusion is. Let's take that number. Let's plug that in. We're going to put it on the table. At 3, we're at 1. So what am I expecting over here? At 5, what am I expecting? I'm also expecting 1. Let's show the work. If you don't show the work, you don't get all the credit. Oh, that shouldn't be an x. What should that be? A 5. What's 5 squared? It is 25. What's negative 3 times 25? So 3/4. What's 5/4 make? $1.25. Now take away 5 cents. Now what's easier for you guys? 75 and 120, subtracting 75 cents from 120, or subtracting 44 from 120? Which one's easier for you first? For me, 75 and 120. What's $1.20 minus 75 cents? Say it louder. 40 what? I think so. Right? Because if I had $1, I'd have 25 cents left plus another 20 cents. So 45. What's 45 take away 44? Is that what we were expecting? Put it on. Put your dot. Now, if you drew something ugly, I'm trying to find myself a pencil. Don't draw it like this. I'm purposely going to draw it ugly and how I would not give you very good points. This is what I saw from a lot of people. My heart died a little bit. What's wrong with that? It's not even a parabola. Is it even connected? Okay, what I'm looking for a curve, not a point. If it's a V shape, that is a absolute value. It needs to actually go through the dots. These points on here need to match your chart. This work needs to match your chart. Okay, this is better, but what's wrong with this? What is this still missing? It is. The arrows are important. Remember when we did domain and range? And we did piecewise functions? Oh, we never called them piecewise functions, but they were piecewise functions. If you don't show me that it goes on, I don't know that it goes on. You're not showing me you understand. See how it's a curve. See how it's pretty symmetrical. See how there's arrows. See how it's going through every single dot. All of those things matter. Now for today's assignment, it is in CUDA-Works, but I'm going to be grading the work you turn in as well as the CUDA-Works. So you don't have to you don't have to be able to draw it by hand, but you do need to select the right graph. That's going to be some of your points, is selecting the correct graph. The rest of your points will come from having the correct table, showing me that you can find the vertex, showing me you can plug in the values and get all the y values for your table. Follow me? Okay, let's do one more, and then let's show you how to check it with the calculator to help you if you get stuck, okay? Let's go over all of that. So flip to the inside. How do I find my vertex? Hint, it's on the front. Good. How do I find the y value? Plug it in. So let's go. I'm going to set it up. You're going to knock it out. What's my b? I got to zoom out just a tiny bit so that you can see the b and the equation at the same time. I heard 8. Is that right? Negative 8. Is that right? It is right. Make sure you have the negative. What's my a? Is it x squared? It's just 1. There should not be any letters, any variables in your equation. What's a negative times a negative? What's 8 divided by 2? Is my vertex always going to be at 4? No. It was at 4 here, and it was at 4 here. Does that mean it's always going to be a 4? No. That was just lucky. Now that I have my x value, how do I find my y value? Plug it in. Tell me what to write down. Pretend that I'm really confused. I'm gonna do a bad job of understanding, and you guys tell me exactly what to write down. What goes here? What do I write down? Purposely did something stupid. What did I do? I need parentheses around that 4. That's not 84. What's 4 squared? 16. What's negative 8 times 4? Good. Oh, sorry, that's supposed to be 15. What is 16 take away 32? Or do you prefer 16 plus 15? Don't care. It is negative 16. Look at you. Negative 16 plus 15. What does that make? Negative 1. Now that I have negative 1, where does it go? Right next to the 4. Since I plugged the 4 in, I got the negative 1 out. Hey, sweetie, you got 100 on the test? You don't have anything to do today. You got the warm-up and that's it.
I didn't finish that one quiz that I read.
All right, knock that out. But I don't have, if you got an A on the test, I'm not making you do today's assignment. Okay. You guys with me so far? Okay, what do we do now? Okay, how do I figure out what those numbers are? Okay, give me a number. What should this one be? Sure, what should this be? Could I pick other numbers? You can, but they won't fit on the graph, right? So it's not going to do you any good. Okay, what number is the easiest to plug in next? Let's do it. What's 2 squared? What's 8 times 2? Is it easier for you guys to put the 4 and the 16 or the 16 and the 15 together? 15 and 16 is easiest for me too. Negative 16, positive 15. What does that make? What kind of 1? And more steps backwards, so it's a negative. What's 4 take away 1? What do I do with that 3? Where does it go? Next to the 2. What number you want to plug in next? Sure. We can plug in 6. What's 6 squared? Good. What's negative 8 times 6? What does that make? 48. You're close. What does 36 take away 48? Would you rather do 36 plus 15? I would do these two. What's 36 take away 48? Negative 12. What's negative 12 plus 15? Is that what we expected? It is. What number do you guys want to plug in next? The what? 3 it is. What's 3 squared? What's -8 times 3? What's 9 plus 15? I'm doing 9 plus 15 and then taking away the 24. It's just easier for me to do it that way. What's 9 plus 15? It is 24. What's 24? Take away 24? Let's go. What's our last number we gotta plug in? Let's go. What are we expecting to get out? Good, let's go. What's 5 squared? Good. What's 8 times 5? Now I'm going to do the positives together, so I'm going to do 25 plus 15. What's 25 plus 15? What's 40 take away 40?
For the F2,
Uh-huh.
it says 16 plus 15, but you got -1.
Negative 16 plus 15.
Oh, I think you did negative.
Sorry. It's there. Okay, now we're going to put this on the graph. So at 6, I'm at 3. At 5, I'm at 0. At 4, I'm at -1. At 3, we're at 0. At 2, we're at 3. Am I done with my graph? I got all the dots on there. What do I still need? I need to draw the parabola. It's easiest for me if I turn it upside down. What happened to my hand? Poison ivy. Now I have a parabola. Can you see that if I drew a line down the middle, it's pretty symmetrical? It's not perfect, but it's obviously trying to be symmetrical. It's trying to go through the points. It's trying to be curved, and it's got the arrows. You guys ready? Okay, we're going to go over how to use your calculator to help you. Open up to the calculator notes section. Clear the scratch pad. To clear the scratch pad, you're going to press the button Dock. So if I'm here, there's stuff on here. I'm going to press this button that says Dock right here, and then the letter B. It's going to clear it all for me. I'm going to press Dock, and then I'm going to press B. Okay, now let's say that I'm in my graph right here. So I'm going to graph. If it doesn't have anything up, see how there's nothing here for me to type an equation into? I'm going to press menu 3-1 and it'll let me type in an equation. So you're going to go menu 3-1 to enter your equation. So do you guys, let's look at the equation number 2. I'm going to type that in real quick. Now I have my parabola. Does that look like what I have here? That's good, okay? Some things that people do wrong when they do the equation: use the subtraction sign. Okay, what I mean by this, if you use the subtraction sign between terms, if I went back to this, if I didn't use a subtraction sign there, but I used the negative sign, that doesn't look right at all. You guys following me? It now thinks it's multiplying those two. Let me see if I can zoom out and show you. This is what it looks like. It made it a cubic equation if I use the negative sign in the middle instead of the subtraction sign. So that's a common mistake that people are making. Okay, now do you guys know how to trace? It's not letting me do it. Do you guys know how to trace a graph? Okay, to trace a graph, let me go to menu 4, 5. Okay. To trace this graph, to get points off of it, you just go menu 5, 1 to trace. And see how it's giving me an X and a Y value? It's giving me X is 0, Y is 15. Trace is going to be menu 5, 1. And you can type in any number, then press enter to find a point. Okay, so let's say that you didn't know what 4 was going to be. Since I have trace up, I can just type the number 4, see how it's saying X equals, press enter, and it gives me my Y value. Can you guys see how that's -1? Okay, do you guys know how to get a table? To get a table, you can do menu 7, 1. It's literally going to give me a table. See how it's going symmetrical now? So you could easily check your numbers in this table. I am 100% fine with you using this as a tool. As a tool means you're using this to see if you're getting the right answer. You're checking your work. You're making sure that you're on the right track. 100% that's what this is for. What this is not for, putting this in, not understanding how to do any of this, not knowing how to take a table of numbers and make a graph. If you can't go from here to here, we need to work. If you can't go from the equation to your vertex, we need to work. Okay? That is everything you need to know. I have not posted the assignment yet. I think 2 questions is plenty of questions. Let me delete. I have like 10 questions right now. Let me delete it and make it 2, and I'll post it. Which one? Okay, I'm going to stop the recording for our online kiddos as soon as I figure out where my mouse is.